Welcome to Pillowtime Lore. This is your soft corner of the night, a place where stories live like warm embers, glowing in the dark. Before we begin, take a moment to slow down. Let your body melt into whatever holds you, your bed, your chair, or that cozy blanket wrapped around your shoulders. Feel how the day begins to drift away, piece by piece, as if it never belonged to you in the first place. Outside your window, the night is calm. The world has quieted down, and the sky has dressed itself in stars. Imagine gentle snowflakes floating in the distance, each one falling without hurry, without noise, just a silent rhythm to remind you that everything is allowed to slow. And here, in this moment, so are you. The glow of a fireplace flickers softly nearby, its warmth wrapping around you like an embrace. The golden light catches on shelves of books, on soft pillows, on every little detail that makes a room feel like home. You breathe in, and the air feels gentle, safe, peaceful. You breathe out, and the weight of today slips further and further away. There is nothing you need to do right now. No expectation, no demand, only rest, only stillness, only the quiet anticipation of a story that will soon take you by the hand and guide you through places that exist just beyond the edge of dreams. So, let the rhythm of your breath carry you deeper into calm. With every inhale, feel your body fill with ease. With every exhale, imagine the clutter of the day dissolving like mist. You are free now, free to wander through the world of tales where time is slower, and every word is a lantern leading you further into comfort. This is Pillowtime Lore, and tonight, a story awaits you. Maya left the dimly lit diner after a long, tiring shift, the cold night air brushing against her face as she pulled her coat tighter around her. The streets were unusually quiet, only the occasional sound of a passing car breaking the silence. She walked toward her small apartment building, her mind on the warmth of home and her son waiting for her. Just as she turned the corner, the screech of tires sliced through the stillness. Her heart lurched as a black car sped past, its headlights briefly blinding her. In the next instant, there was a sickening thud, followed by a sharp cry of pain. Maya froze for a split second before rushing forward, her breath quick and uneven. A man lay crumpled on the road, his body trembling and blood pooling beneath him. Maya knelt beside him, whispering reassurances she wasn't sure he could hear. Her hands shaking as she checked for a pulse, she screamed for help, her voice echoing off the walls of the buildings around them. A few neighbors peered from their windows, but no one came. Down, sirens finally wailed in the distance. When the police arrived, Maya explained what she saw, her words tumbling out in panic, but the officers seemed detached, treating her like just another witness. They took brief notes and promised to handle it. One officer even suggested she go home and get some rest as she walked back to her apartment. Anger and unease twisted inside her. She couldn't stop thinking about the driver who didn't stop, about the victim's fading cries, and about how quickly the police dismissed her. That night, the city didn't feel like home anymore. It felt like a place where justice slipped away unnoticed. And Maya knew deep down that she wouldn't be able to let it go. The next morning, Maya woke with a heavy head and restless thoughts. The memory of the accident still sharp and haunting. She couldn't shake the image of the man lying broken on the cold street, his blood seeping into the cracks of the pavement while making breakfast for her son. She found herself staring blankly at the frying pan, replaying the screech of those tires and the faceless driver speeding away. Her son Adam noticed her silence and asked if something was wrong. She forced a smile and told him she was just tired, but deep down, she knew it was more than exhaustion. As the day went on, Maya started seeing familiar faces around her building. People she hadn't noticed before seemed to linger in corners, their eyes following her as if she knew something she shouldn't. She heard snippets of conversations, whispers about a wealthy man with connections. A name slipped through those whispers more than once. Leo. The sound of it made her chest tighten. Leo wasn't just anyone from her past. He was the man she once trusted with everything. They had dreamed of starting a business together years ago. Maya had poured her savings and her heart into the venture, only to watch Leo disappear with both, leaving her with debt and shame. She had buried those memories, convincing herself she'd moved on. Now his name was surfacing again, tied to this. Hit and run. Maya's curiosity grew sharper. Blending with anger and a need for answers, Adam began to sense her distraction at home, asking why she barely listened when he spoke. Guilt gnawed at her, but she couldn't turn back now. This accident wasn't random. It was a thread pulling her straight back into a past she swore she'd escaped. Maya knew she couldn't rely on the police to uncover the truth, so she decided to do it herself. She started by visiting the small grocery store across the street, where a dusty old CCTV camera hung above the entrance. The owner was reluctant at first, worried about trouble, but Maya's persistence and desperate tone finally convinced him. Together, they went through the footage, frame by frame, until the blurry image of the speeding black car appeared. Her heart raced as she caught sight of a partial license plate. It wasn't much, but it was something encouraged. Maya began talking to neighbors, carefully choosing her words, so no one suspected how deeply involved she was. Some shrugged her off, too afraid to get tangled in someone else's problem, but a few shared hushed rumors about a powerful man who controlled things from the shadows. The name Leo came up again, this time with an edge of fear, as if even speaking it out loud carried risk. Maya's nights became a blur of online searches, tracking vehicle registrations and scanning news articles. She pieced together fragments of information until a dark picture began to form. Everything pointed toward Leo, and the deeper she dug, the more she realized how dangerous he truly was. Soon, Maya started feeling eyes on her, a chill running down her spine whenever she walked home. Her sleep grew restless, her work began to suffer, as exhaustion and obsession took hold. Balancing her jobs, her investigation, and caring for Adam became impossible, yet she couldn't stop. She was getting closer to the truth, but with each step, she felt herself sinking deeper into a world she didn't fully understand. Torn between fear and determination, Maya pushed forward, knowing there was no safe way back. Maya never planned to see Leo so soon, but fate cornered her when her boss insisted she attend a charity gala to represent the company. She almost refused, her mind consumed by the investigation. But when she heard the list of high-profile guests, her heart skipped. Leo's name was there, bold and undeniable. She knew this was her chance to see him face to face after all these years. Though the thought filled her with both dread and fire, the venue glimmered with warm lights and laughter. Wealthy donors dressed in elegant suits and sparkling dresses. Maya felt out of place in her simple outfit, her palms damp as she moved through the crowd. And then she saw him. Leo stood near the stage, tall and confident, surrounded by people hanging on to his every word. His smile was smooth, practiced, the same smile that once disarmed her completely. Their eyes met across the room, and in that single moment, the air seemed to crackle. Maya's breath caught, and she quickly looked away, trying to calm the storm of memories rushing back. She reminded herself why she was there. To see the man who had destroyed her dreams and possibly committed an even darker crime. When they finally spoke, Leo greeted her with warmth, as if nothing had ever gone wrong between them. His charm flowed easily, masking the menace beneath. Maya forced herself to smile and play along, every word a battle to keep her anger hidden. When she left the gala, her legs trembled. She knew now that exposing him would be far more difficult than she imagined. Leo was not just dangerous, he was untouchable in the eyes of everyone around him, and that terrified her more than anything. After seeing Leo up close, Maya realized that words and rumors would never be enough. She needed hard evidence, something that could expose him completely. She began following his routines, studying where he went and who he met. It felt dangerous and thrilling all at once, each step pulling her deeper into a world where one wrong move could ruin her. Late at night, she slipped into places she knew Leo frequented. High-end restaurants, private clubs, even the parking garage beneath his office building. Her heart would pound so loudly she feared someone could hear it. Twice she nearly got caught. Once when a guard questioned why she was there, and another time when Leo himself passed by so close she could smell his cologne. Each narrow escape left her trembling, but more determined than ever. Her obsession began to show in her daily life. At work, she made mistakes she would never have made before. Her boss scolded her for being distracted. Friends called to check on her, but she avoided them, not wanting to answer questions she couldn't explain. Even at home, the walls felt heavy with secrets. Adam noticed her anxiety, his eyes full of worry, as he asked why she barely spoke to him anymore. Guilt stabbed her, but she brushed off his questions with excuses. At night, lying awake beside her phone filled with stolen photos and notes. Maya wondered if she was losing herself. She questioned how far she was willing to go to bring Leo down, and whether catching him would cost her the person she used to be. Maya received a tip-off from an unexpected source, a former employee of Leo's who had grown tired of living in fear. The person spoke in hushed tones over a crowded cafe table, revealing details about Leo's life that shocked her. He had climbed to wealth and influence through careful manipulation, backroom deals, and silencing those who threatened him. Every revelation made her blood run cold. She learned about compromises Leo had made to hide past mistakes, favors exchanged for silence, debts erased in ways that never showed up on paper, and people who had disappeared from his life under suspicious circumstances. The more she dug, the clearer it became that his charm was a mask for a dangerous, calculating man. Even worse, his actions had created collateral damage. Innocent people caught in the ripple of his schemes, families torn apart, lives ruined without anyone knowing the reason. The city itself seemed complicit, bowing to his influence in quiet, invisible ways. Maya felt her sense of justice flare. The anger that had been simmering for years now burned hotter than ever, but fear crawled along her spine too. Leo was more dangerous than she had imagined. Confronting him directly could cost her everything: her life, her safety, her freedom. She realized that every move needed to be calculated, every step measured. Yet despite the danger, she knew she could not turn back. The truth had to be uncovered, and she was ready to risk more than she ever had. Maya spent days planning every detail, choosing a charity gala where Leo was guaranteed to appear. She rented a dress that blended with the crowd and rehearsed a story to explain her presence without raising suspicion. Her mind raced with scenarios, each one more tense than the last. She knew she had to remain calm, or everything would fall apart. The gala was alive, with music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses. Chandeliers cast glittering light across the room. Maya moved carefully among the well-dressed guests. Every glance felt like a risk. She kept her eyes scanning, her nerves taut, until she saw him. Leo stood near the stage, laughing with patrons, perfectly composed. The same confidence that had once disarmed her. The moment their eyes met, everything shifted. Silence seemed to fall between them. The crowd faded, and only their shared past filled the space. Maya's chest tightened as memories rushed back. Betrayal, anger, and fear mixing in a dizzying swirl. She forced herself to smile and greet him casually, though every word was a test, every gesture a calculated move. Leo's recognition was instant, his charm masking a flicker of unease. Subtle threats hid in his polite questions. Hints of remorse slipped through his tone. Maya watched him closely, analyzing every reaction, searching for weakness or guilt. She realized that this confrontation would not be solved in a single night, but it gave her the upper hand, the knowledge that she could play him carefully, and with each exchange, she mapped the path for the next move in her dangerous game. Maya sent Leo a carefully crafted message, pretending to need his advice on a business matter. She knew he couldn't resist the opportunity to display his influence. When he arrived at her apartment rooftop, the city lights below flickering like distant stars, she felt her pulse race, every nerve alert. This was the moment she had been preparing for. Leo smiled as he stepped onto the rooftop, his confidence oozing as if he controlled everything around him. Maya stayed calm, her mind sharp. She greeted him casually, letting him think he held the upper hand, but every word she spoke was designed to draw out the truth, to make him reveal what he had spent years hiding. The conversation quickly escalated, subtle threats and old grievances surfacing with intensity. Leo tried to manipulate her, twisting the narrative and casting doubt on her intentions. Maya met each attempt with composure, refusing to let fear take control. She used her intelligence and courage, asking pointed questions that left no room for lies, forcing him to confront the reality of his actions. Finally, Leo faltered, cracks appearing in his polished mask. He realized Maya had anticipated every move. The evidence she subtly revealed left him cornered. The city below seemed to hold its breath as he faced the consequences of years of deception and cruelty. Maya stood tall, victorious without violence, understanding that justice didn't always need force, and for the first time in years, she felt the weight of fear lift, replaced by a fierce sense of empowerment and control. After the rooftop confrontation, Maya felt a strange mixture of relief and exhaustion. The city seemed quieter, as if holding its breath. The evidence she had gathered and the careful exposure of Leo's actions finally drew attention. The police reopened the case. Journalists started asking questions, and for the first time, she saw the ripple effect of her efforts. Leo was exposed publicly, his carefully crafted image cracked for everyone to see, but he wasn't destroyed. Completely, Maya had chosen to act with precision, ensuring justice without chaos. She realized that her power didn't come from revenge, but from strategy, courage, and patience. Each choice had been deliberate, and the outcome reflected her intelligence and restraint. As the days passed, Maya felt herself growing stronger. She reflected on the fear that had once held her back, the moral lines she had feared crossing, and the resilience she had discovered within herself. The experience had changed her, not just as a mother or worker, but as a person capable of confronting danger and standing her ground. Her relationships began to mend slowly. Adam smiled more freely, sensing his mother's return to balance. Friends who had noticed her distraction and obsession came back into her life. Maya learned that strength wasn't just about courage in danger, but also about reconnecting, trusting, and opening herself to those she loved. Standing on her apartment balcony one evening, looking at the city lights, she felt a calm certainty. Life could throw anything at her now, but she had faced fear, exposed truth, and survived. And that survival had given her something far greater than safety. It had given her power and independence. Maya stood on the rooftop once more, the cool night air brushing against her face. The city stretched below her in a web of lights and shadows. She felt a strange mixture of relief and pride, the weight of the past weeks lifting slowly, the danger, the fear, and the obsession that had consumed her were finally behind her. She thought about everything she had faced, the careful planning, the confrontation, and the courage it took to stand up to Leo. She realized how much she had grown, not just in strength, but in wisdom. Every choice, every risk had shaped her into someone who could face the unknown without hesitation. Her thoughts turned to Adam, her son, and the quiet moments they had missed in the chaos. She found him in the kitchen the next morning, his sleepy eyes lighting up when he saw her. They embraced. Laughter and conversation filling the space where tension had once lingered. She felt the bond between them deepen, stronger and more resilient than before. Life wasn't perfect. She knew that there would always be challenges, unexpected turns, and moments of fear, but for the first time in a long while, Maya felt ready. The lessons she had learned, the courage she had discovered, and the choices she had made had prepared her for anything. As she looked out over the city, the lights twinkling like distant stars, a sense of calm and determination settled in her chest. She smiled, knowing she could handle whatever came next. Her past no longer a chain, but a guide, and the future, wide and unknown, felt full of promise.